Okay, today I'm gonna show you how to make some heavy dubstep. You can find this and more projects on my Patreon, and shout out to my patrons for sponsoring this video. Okay, this is a remix I made for Rise from Sudden Death. You can go check that out on SoundCloud. So first of all, we gotta choose your punchy drums, and add some cymbals and make that kick clap pattern we all like. And to make them heavier, you gotta route them to your mixer and choose those channels and put them into your drum bus. And here basically I'm putting a stop that is a multi-band transient shaper or something like that. I put some tweaks on it, like boosting a little bit of the highs, mids. After that I'm using distortion, and I know it sounds kinda crazy, but trust me, if you control your distortion, you will add some grittiness to it without fucking up your harmonic. And finally this free clip, so it smashes the drums to 0 decibels. And if this is kind of overwhelming to you, you can go check the projects on the Patreon. You can get a more in-depth view from there. Or if you want me to help you develop your sound or any idea you have, I'm giving one-on-one lessons. Get the link in the description to book your private session now. And with all of that, you can support this dude's stream. So, how you can. And now for the basses. Over these pre-drop basses from the original track, I put some volume automation so I can isolate the basses from the original track. I put some spectral delay. On the Bisbo video over here, I explain over there how to use this shit. I'm adding this reverb without decay, but with a lot of fucking wet, and the dry is kind of halfway on the slider. Just to give it this space. Then we have OTT obviously to bring some volume back. And finally this epic reverb to wash out the basses before the drop. And if you want this reverb preset, you can go on my Discord. I'ma leave that for free. Fucking cool community we're building up there. Yeah, basically here I'm automating this mix level from the reverb. And finally I'm adding this sub drop just to emphasize the pre-drop, because there's no sub bass on here, so I wanted this to be impactful. Also here I have the bass from the drop, kinda subtly introducing you to the drop. And now for the drop, everybody wants to know what's going on here. Here I have different bits from the original basses, and I'm just slightly moving forward of the grid so it's more humanized. It gives the flow to the whole drop, because listen to it if it's on grid and this off grid, it's groovier. Then you gotta use a bunch of effects. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people use serum and stuff, but I use this technique here because it's basically a remix. So I wanted the original basses to be the foundation of the whole drop. And this is basically a part of the sound design where you are on a constant trial and error. But I'm gonna break down the effects of this. I added to the basses more spectral delay, convolution reverb, disperser, some OTT to bring up the harmonics and the whole volume. Then I'm adding Valhalla Supermassive. You can go check that video of Valhalla Supermassive. Then I'm using multipass with a frequency shifter on here. And huge fucking tip, don't use the frequency shifter straight on your mixer. Go use multipass instead. Here you can split your frequencies, as you can see. And this is so you don't move your whole frequency spectrum and lose the body of your sound. And while you're moving your frequencies down or up, you're not losing nothing, because the foundation basically is on the mids and lows. Then we have some EQ to get rid of some frequencies. Then OTT to bring up again the fucking volume. Then we have more disperser. And finally G-clip, and the gain is kinda below 5 decibels. The softness is all the way up, by the way. And I explained this on my Valhalla Supermassive video, so I again encourage you to go watch that shit. Because of the Valhalla Supermassive, I'm putting everything on mono right here with this knob. And I route this to another channel on the mixer, and here I post-process it again to bring the seriousness of the sound again with this Ozone Imager algorithm. So you have more control over your stereo witness. Then another step. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just experimenting. And here again some EQing. And finally this multipass with another frequency shifter, because in one part of the drop I switch a little bit of the frequencies with this. Then you add your sub bass. It's a basic patch I made on Serum, nothing crazy. I route it to my mixer and you post-process it. I do my post-processing with my subwoofer. This makes your sub go wild as fuck. Listen to it without it and with it. Sound crazy as fuck, but it can sound crazier. So after that, I know it's gonna sound fucking crazy. I'm overpass a lot of barriers in terms of mixing, and I already have a tutorial talking about this shit. It went kind of polemical. So basically, if you want a more in-depth view in mixing and shit, you can go check that fucking video. So if you watch the video, you know what I'm gonna talk about. If you don't, go check that video and come back. I run my sub bass to my sub bass bus and my basses to my bass bus, and these are routed to the drop bus. And here on the drop bus, I have some distortion, some disperser, well, a little bit of EQing, and a fucking G-clip. Some crazy stuff. But after almost 7 fucking years of making music, I realized that if it sounds good, just don't overthink it. You just gotta have fun, play with your sounds, at your effect zone, and you're done, dude. That's it. Here we have some triplets going on, like on the original track. So I wanted to replicate that. I made this with shaper box basically. I have like the sound of the basses on one channel because I want to like automate the volume before all the fucking effects are going on. So I have an 1/8 of triplets. I made this shape, and over here I automate the mix level. And obviously with the fucking sub bass and the distortion we put on the drop bass sounds fucking crazy. Now some extra little details. After the first hit on this bass, I put this drop vocal that is layered with this weird sound effect. So together sounds like this. Followed up by this ringy effect. And then the triplets part is different. Same sample, different section. Then I have my vocal going on. And if you want to know how I made this one, go check this video. And then we have this cool and robotic broken ass vocal. It's made up with big speak. This is the OG sample. We first frequency shift that down a little bit. Then the magic happens with this beat speak, and I'm automating the pitch first. And after that, I'm automating the frame rate. And that's making that broken effect. And basically beat speak, it's like holding the beats of the sample depending on how low your frame rate's going. So basically it's like you're going down FPS, but in terms of sound waves. And basically I can teach you this and more with my 101 lessons. You can go and book yours in the link in the description. Please, I'm not looking desperate. After that I just add some disperser, some OTT. And now back with the fucking drop. Let's talk about like some call and response theory, okay? So basically you have here A, then B, then we have C, then D, then we repeat this A, B, C, D call response shit over here. And over here I'm adding a new motif that is this high pitch bass. It's the same bass but pitched top. The call here is basically an A, but with this motif we could call this an A2. As well as here we have the same, but we have the C call. So we can call this a C2. And in my mind I wanna like reduce this A, B, C, D shit going on here just in this bit. That's why I reduced it to this A2 and this C2 to get this response. It's kind of like overwhelming and you may not understand me, but that's how I like thought of that shit. So after that I get into a new call and response. These 8th notes. I'm basically playing with the pitch allowed here. You have this sample with the original pitch. Then we have this one up, this one the same, this one lower, and I'm just playing around with that. And that's creating this D part followed up by this E part. And then we have back again the A2 part to finally end at the drop with an extended D part. I'm basically adding some lasers to make it more dynamic. Don't forget the projects on the Patreon. You can go and book some 101 lessons with me so you can enhance your ideas. Links are in the description down below. Yeah, bye.